Hi, I'm Nic Davidson. I just wanted to take a second and tell you a little bit more specifically about what we want to do with Freely Given. A while back, my wife went to a medical missions conference, and I went tagged along, but I'm a non-medical personnel. It's not even safe to let me near people medically. I just don't know what I'm doing. But they had a session called Medical Missions for Non-Clinicians. And it was good because it rhymed, but it was also cool because it was led by a guy who leads all of their mission trips for this one parish, but that he has no medical training whatsoever. So I went to that, and it kind of just changed the huge scope of what we want to do. He spoke in there of, they were doing a trip, I think it was to Nicaragua, and a woman who was an x-ray tech here in the States, she wanted to come along, but she knew that there's no way to do x-ray tech on the trip. So she said, is there any way I can help? And they just more or less on a whim said, well, sure, why don't you come along? We have a camera and then like a photo printer. And then you can just take pictures of people who come through the medical line so that we have, pictures of each person. She said, okay. So she went on the trip, and, they set up for the clinic, and they set up, out there before sun rises, it's all waiting. People start lining up because this is their one time a year in order to get that they'll get medical care. And she sets up a little off the line with her own little table. And at one point, somebody comes over and says, what are you doing here? And she explains, well, I'm here. I'll take pictures of you and your family, and I'll just print them off here. You can have a copy. And people began leaving their once a year medical treatment line to go home and put on their best t-shirts, their best clothes, getting their aunts, uncles, sometimes 4 or 5 generations of people together for this picture, because they would never again in their life have a chance to have their whole family in a picture together. This was their once in a lifetime shot. And he said that kind of impacted everything for them as well, because they started to realize it's not just medical care that matters to a person. It's the entirety of the person. There's so much that makes us up. There's so much intricacy to us and complexity that we actually do people injustice if we only focus on the medical side of things, the well-being. And so that changed it for them, but that hit us really hard, because what we want to do, we named it Freely Given in Matthew, because freely you've received, then turn around and just freely give. And my wife and I, we have received so much. We've been given so much in our life on all fronts, that we want to, in every way possible, turn around and just give and give and give it all back till we're done. But we also think that it's really good for others to do that as well. So we wanted Freely Given to be kind of an umbrella, that if you want to, like corporations or whatnot, we are a 501c3, and so if people want to donate, we'll need that. We'll need donations. We've always lived on Providence, and we continue to live on Providence. And God has brought us all around the world, and never really an extra dime in our bank account, but always with enough from donators, from givers. And so that's part of it. But we also wanted people to know that if you want to come wherever we are in the world, if you want to come for a week, for a month, come live with us for a year, we want that to be something we're open to as well, and that we want to encourage you to do. But not just because people, you'll talk all the time, people will say, well, I don't have any medical training, and I can't do VBS for the rest of my life. Because those are kind of the two things you always see mission trips doing. They come into town and they have the medical side of things, and then they have like the children's evangelism side, and that's part of it. We're gonna do the heck out of VBSs for the rest of our life. I'm sure we will, and even the theology of the body and all the evangelism and whatnot. Absolutely, wherever we go, we hope to just make that a huge focus. But as well, we can't forget the entirety of the person. So if you say you are a photographer, then you have the ability to come into a community and impact them in a way that we would just take for granted, getting your picture taken. And we print it off at home. We do selfies all day long. But these people, this might be the only time in their whole life they have their whole family together. I was even talking with somebody about if you were a photographer, go approaching different photo shops, photo stores, and camera stores, and saying, would you have any older digital cameras, high-def cameras that you would be willing to donate to what is a nonprofit that we could take up to, say Alaska. Our first mission is planning to go to Alaska. So we're going to go up 26 miles above the Arctic Circle. And we're going to come into a town, and we're going to live there, and so we're going to host a mission trip. So you could come into town, and maybe in that week, you could do 3 or 4 hours every day teaching people how to do good photography, how to have an eye for that. And then you would be able to leave behind cameras with which they could do that. But then, to top it off, you could also give them the skills to learn how to upload them to the internet, to learn how to begin to market them, to the incredible beauty of where they happen to live, to market that online and possibly be able to enrich their community even financially on their own with their own efforts. And that's that's one idea. And you, whoever you are, you have a unique ability, whatever energizes you, whatever you find, not that you're just good at, but that it helps you feel more alive when you do it. Then you would be able to take that in some way and make it an offering, make it to benefit the entire person, the entire community, not just spiritually, not just church daycare for a week, but in this unique way that pretty much only you could do it. I only have one skill, and I don't even do that very well, but I can talk. And my wife is a doctor, so we don't do much else. So you do, though. So we wanted this this video just to encourage you that whatever it is that you happen to do, there are endless ways you can make that a gift to God. There's nothing in your life that you can't give to Him that He can't then turn around and multiply and transubstantiate and make His presence in the world. So I just wanted to encourage you. Take stock. Take a second and pray about it. Just ask God, I don't know, I guess this is something I enjoy. This is something I'm good at. Then get a hold of me. Then we'll find a way to make it work in Alaska or wherever we happen to be. Please get in touch with us, and please be willing to trust God with whatever you have in life, your time, your treasure, and your talent, which boils down to everything. So thank you, and have a great day.